Dog, the show did Alexis dirty this week. Let's talk about it. What's up, everybody? Welcome to General Hospital MV, my GH after show. We cannot begin the show any other way other than to discuss what the show done did to Alexis and Neil. In case you missed it, Neil and Alexis finally decided to be together only for him to die in his sleep. He literally woke up dead, and at first I was like, okay, this is a fake out nightmare that they always do on the show. Alexis is just having a nightmare that being with Neil will end up causing him to die. And then Sam shows up. And then Valerie shows up to take her statement, and I'm like, okay, this is just like one big episode nightmare that she's gonna wake up from the next day. Nope, a couple days later, Sam moved Alexis into the penthouse. I'm like, holy freaking God. Y'all, I can't believe that we sat through a year of Alexis and Neil beating around the bush only for him to die in his sleep. I still had questions. I wanted to know who his daughter was that he couldn't save that died while being in a cult. I guess we'll never know now, and apparently Neil was on drugs and overdosed in his sleep, thus making him Cyrus's first victim and not Sasha like I predicted. This is why I hate when pivotal moments happen off screen. And speaking of pivotal moments happening off screen, apparently Cyrus fired Monica Quartermain and Bobby Spencer from General Hospital. Y'all could have utilized the actresses. Do you know how much harder this would have hit? If we actually seen this on screen, I seriously doubt that they were unavailable. At least we got to see Molly and TJ have a what the hell reaction to it. I seriously love those two. I think that they deserve so much more screen time, and I loved TJ disrespecting Cyrus the way that he did. The Ashford men have no qualms about giving Cyrus attitude. I still seriously want to know what Curtis has on Cyrus. What do you guys think he has on him? Let me know in the comments below. Also, side note, Curtis making dinner for Jordan was absolutely adorable. How dare you give them these adorable scenes when we know that their marriage is not gonna make it. Jordan, you do not deserve a man like Curtis with that secret that you're hiding from him. That's just wrong. Let's go back to TJ for a second. It seems like he and Brando are about to become good friends, and man, like I just wish that Molly was just honest with TJ. I feel like they probably could have easily come back from that given the circumstances, but man, he's gonna be crushed when Brando and Molly's one-night stand comes to light. Speaking of Brando, he is under investigation both by the PCPD and Jason, Spinelli, and Sam on whether or not he tampered with Jason's bike. Spinelli and Jason set up a camera in Brando's garage hoping to catch something sinister, and what they caught was Brando getting beat up by two of Cyrus's men. The reason why Cyrus's men beat him up is because Brando actually turned down working for Cyrus, and this was the result of his actions. Jason, of course, always believed that Brando was on the up and up. He has good instincts about that. Sam was thinking otherwise until he did get beat up, and honestly, I feel like she's still on the fence with it. She has a serious hate on for Brando. I'm actually scared that they're going to try to put Sam and Brando together, which I don't want because Jason and Sam literally just got back together with nothing in their way of being together. So please don't do this, writers, please. Want to know the best part about Spinelli setting up that camera? When he went back to Brando's shop to get it, Peter and Maxie showed up because Maxie's car broke down, and when Maxie left, Peter stayed behind, and the Jackal took the opportunity to confront Peter on what Nell had told him about his past relationship with Shiloh. And when the Jackal left, he kept the camera there, and Peter went onto the phone and said that Nell needed to be dealt with because she could blow his whole life apart. You got him, Spinelli. However, I have such little faith in these writers that I am pretty sure that the tape will get deleted, or that Peter will actually somehow shut Spinelli up. I'm just like, that's how little faith I've got. They're going to drag this story out because Peter and Maxie are gushing over the baby sonograms, and I feel like we're at least stuck with him until the baby is born, so stop giving me false hope, show. Stop. And then of course there's Anna, who desperately wants to believe he's a changed man, although her conversation with Robert this week definitely has me thinking that she may not have as much faith in him as she makes people believe, because Robert had her number. Anna, let me ask you something. Has Robert Scorpio ever been wrong? I know he has a big ego, but has he ever been wrong? I don't think so. Anna has her hands full at the moment because she received a call from her sister Alex, who apparently knows that Peter is expecting his first child, and she wants Anna to meet her in Berlin. Finn is not too happy about it, but Anna goes to Valentine and approaches him to join her into tracking Alex down. Anna, of course, thinks that Alex is about to blow up Peter's life by revealing the fact that she is his real mom. And I'm like, yo, just let her do it, please. Now, Valentine never actually agreed to go with Anna. We don't know if he'll actually decide to or not. We'll find out next week, I guess. But if she goes alone, I feel like Alex will probably get the jump on her and replace herself as Anna again so that she could be the grandmother in his child's life without him actually knowing that she's, you know, his mother. As for Robert, he's on his way to Geneva with Olivia to help her sneak into the WSB facility to see her son Dante. And of course, Ned was not happy about it. He tried desperately to keep her there because, you know, Brooklyn needed her to be there. He needed her there because she was the go-between between Ned and Brooklyn. I'm just like, that is an excuse. You do not need Olivia there. She gave you all the advice you needed. Just give her space. She has Sonny and Michael to fall back on to comfort her in the meantime. She does not want to be around Ned, and Olivia cannot be the go-between. She just needs to have her space. And I'm just like, that's such a poor excuse. You clearly just want her there because you're jealous of Robert and Olivia's budding friendship, which I actually adore. I actually truly believe that they won't, you know, have an affair behind Ned's back. I really don't. I think that they are just good friends. And of course, I've mentioned this before, Lisa Lo-Cicero, who plays Olivia, is like a die-hard Robert Scorpio fan. She used to watch GH in the 80s, and she was a big fan. So this is probably like the biggest dream come true for her. I am loving this story. I love that they're together in a story that is actually a pivotal moment on the show. Alright, now let's talk about the Corinthos clan, which disturbingly enough, they seem to be the most wholesome part of the show. You know, when you take away the fact that Carly is keeping a secret of what really happened to Nell from her son and her husband, and you know, that's eating away at her conscience. I actually really love the scene of Carly's nightmare where Nell was knocking on the door and then appeared in the kitchen. I actually think that Nell is totally capable of doing that in real life. And yes, I still don't believe for a second that Nell is dead. Anyway, onto the wholesome stuff. So Sonny and Mike had some really sweet, heart-wrenching scenes this week. Mike was well enough for Sonny to take him to a horse track and watch the horses, and they actually brought a horse onto the set, and there was a really sweet moment of Mike kissing the horse's face. I just gush. Maurice and Max are just giving me life with this story. They are killing it, and I say it every week at this point, but I cannot wait till the final scenes of his death. I think they're going to be so emotionally charged, and I'm going to be a mess on the floor, and I'm going to be proud of it. Like, the show, they just give us really good moments sometimes, and this is one of them. And I'm actually relieved that we got at least one last good memory of Sonny and Mike, because it's only going to be miserable and sad from here on out, I think. So thank you for that, show. Anyway, on the other end of the Corinthos clan, Michael and Willow are still being giddy over their off-screen kiss, and Michael went to Jason for advice, and he was like, well, you know, it was going to happen. And Willow and Michael talked about it eventually in the park. Chase was actually about to come clean to Willow about the fact that the affair that he and Sasha had was not real, but he walked in on Michael and Willow's conversation about the kiss and he backed off. I'm just like, I loved Chase and Willow. I feel like they were honestly the best couple on the show when they were together, and to replace them with this boring mess, I'm just like, ugh. Yes, like Michael and Willow have a sweet friendship and they got Wiley in common, and it's great, but it's boring. Like, I don't want to see that. I want to see a romantic, sexy couple, and there's nothing sexy about Michael and Willow. I'm sorry. Now, the only other thing to mention is that Jax and Nina are still on the search for Nina's long-lost child. They get a lead on the jeweler that actually cut the necklace in half, and of course, Nina hopes that this will lead to her long-lost child. She mentions this to Valentine, and he's just like, oh no, you're not going to find the child. Like, I looked everywhere. You're not going to find a lead. And they kind of hinted that maybe Valentine knows more than what he's saying, which honestly wouldn't surprise me. And even Nina puts a question on that. And Valentine's just like, you know, I really loved you and I was so selfless and, you know, I'm not a bad person. And then, perfect timing, Sam comes out of Kelly's, because they're outside of Kelly's, and mentions that he screwed over the hospital and ELQ, and left that part out when they made their deal to get Sam a better parole officer. So Nina was just like, yeah, I don't regret leaving you at all, and she just pieces out. I loved that. Good for you, Nina. I really don't want them back together. Nina deserves so much better than a man that's just going to constantly lie to her. I'm just like, bro, anyone that thinks that they're a good couple, I just don't understand you. Like, yeah, cool, they have good chemistry, maybe, but that doesn't mean anything when he's like lying to her for her whole life. It's just like, no man, do you want that for yourself? I wouldn't. Anyway, that about wraps up GHMV, but it is September now, and if you guys have been watching me for a while, you guys know that when GH was off the air, I was doing classic reaction videos, and I did say that I would try to bring back GHMV React videos in September. I think I'm going to do it at the end of the month, so I want to know what episodes or what classic scenes you guys want me to watch in the comments below. They're not going to be as long as they were, obviously, because I'm back at work full time, and it's hard to, you know, be back at work full time and do constant videos and longer videos, but I will do shorter videos and a couple of them every month from here on out for the reaction videos. So let me know what you want to see in the comments below. Other than that, you might have noticed on Friday I dropped a very interesting and uniquely edited video. If you guys are interested in any of my non-GH content, stay tuned for some really cool stuff that I won't reveal to you yet, but I am super excited to show you. So anyway, if you like this video, give it a big old thumbs up, subscribe if you want to, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out.
Let me hold it down. Let me hold it down. Let me